Hello there, and then welcome to a brand new video. This is how Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. In this lesson, we are looking at how to multiply and divide using the partitioning and place value method. I do hope that you've been able to go through that of addition and subtraction. That is just a follow-up of that. If you really understood that one, then you have no problem with this. So without much ado, let's quickly go into it. Now, in our previous lesson, we saw that the partitioning method simply expands the number into the sum of their individual values and then works on them separately, right? So with that idea in mind, we'll pick some questions and then apply the multiplication and then division. So looking at this first question here, it says we should multiply 34 by 6 using partitioning, right? So the main thing we need to do here is to try and then expand, or that is write our number in its expanded form. So instead of your 34, you are going to write it as what? 30 plus 4. You see? So with that written, what you now do is you are going to multiply the 30 by the 6 and also multiply the 4 also by the 6. So by so doing, it simply means 34 times 6, right, has become, that is 34 times 6 has now become what? Your 30 times 6, then plus 4 times 6. You see? And you know your 30 times 6 will give you a 180. 4 times 6 gives us a 24. So if you are to add this two, we have 204. You see? So we conclude by saying, therefore, the 34 times 6 is what? 204. Very simple and straightforward. Let's pick another example on multiplication. This time around the 2 digit. Then maybe we'll go to some on division. So let's multiply 23 times 14. We are multiplying 23 by 14. Now, take note of how this is going to be, because this involves 2 digits. All right. So we have 23 multiplying what? 14. Now we know that our 23 can be written as 20 plus 3, you see. And also our 14 can then be written as 10 plus 4, you see. So take note, the 23 here would multiply the 10, that is the 10, and then it will also multiply the 4, right? So what do I mean by that? We'll first of all take our 20, you see, then we multiply it by 10. Then we also take the 20 and multiply it by 4. So something like this, and then this. Then we also do for the 3, and then the 3. You see? So 20 times 10, and then you have your 20 times 4. So you've been able to multiply through. Then you come to your 3. So 3 also by 10, and then 3 also by what? 4. And we can quickly write our answers there. So 20 times 10 gives us a 200. And then 3 times 10 gives us a 30. 20 times 4 gives us 100. And then 3 times 4. 20 times 4 gives us an 80. And then 3 times 4 also gives us a 12. You see? So all we now do is to add all of these up, and we are going to get our answer, right? So it implies we have a 200 plus an 80. That is this, and then this, you see? Then plus your 30, and then plus your 12. Adding all up gives you a 322. So therefore, 23 times 14 is what? 322. This is using the partition method. All right. So let's pick a last example that has to do with a decimal. But before that, let me quickly go over this again. So we have 23 and we have what? 14. They are all two-digit numbers, you see. So what we want to do is you want to partition this. That is, write it as a sum of the values. Okay. Then the same applies to this one. So the 23 is what we wrote over here, you see. And then the 14 is also what we have over here. With that said, the 20 is going to multiply the both 10 and then 14. So this here is the 20 times the 10, and this here is the 20 times the 4. And same applies to 3. So 3 also does the same thing. And if you finish, you just add all the answers you have over here. And then you are good to go. Let's take this example. So for this here that involves a decimal, it is just like the first one we did. All right. So our solution, all we need to do is to write our 12.3 in its expanded form, right? So 12.3. That gives us a 10. That is for the whole number. So 10 plus 2 and then plus a 0.3. Okay. Then all we need to do now is to multiply the 12.3. That is the expanded form, each and every number by the 4. So remember, we have 12.3 times 4. So every number is supposed to multiply the 4. And that is 10 times 4. You see. Then we have our 2 also times 4. And then your 0.3 also times the 4. And evaluating all that, we have 10 times 4 giving us a 40. 2 times 4 giving us an 8. And then 0.3 times 4 giving us a 1.2. You know 3 times 4 is 12. There is just one decimal place. So we just get 1 here as well. So we have our 40 plus 8 giving us a 48. And 48 plus 1.2 gives us a 49.2. So that simply means that our 12.3 times 4 is equal to 40 plus 8 plus the 1.2, which is what? A 49.2. As simple as that. Now let's look at sum that involves division, right? Sum that involves division. You realize that it's actually the same thing, all right? So this first question under the division says you have to divide 84 by 6. You have to divide 84 by what? 6. So let me write my solution. And then we have what? 84 divided by 6. Now, to use the partition method, right? What you do is you use the place value to break the number into parts and divide step by step. You see? Now, this part that we divide or we break the number into, what you do is you actually break it into numbers, sum of numbers that this divisor can divide. Because if you are to write it as 80 plus 4, 6 would not perfectly divide 24, you see. So, and it would, I mean, 6 will not perfectly divide 4. Okay. So, what we actually do is you write your number as sums. You see, sum of, let me say, multiples of the 6. You get me? So that instead of what we have here, we are not going to use it. But I would write 84 as, it means you ask yourself, what are the factors, the multiples of 6? That if you add them together, you get 84. So you have 60, then plus 24. You see? So with that now, your 84 divided by 6 will now become what? Your 60 plus 24, right? Then all divided by what? 6. You see? So to evaluate it now, you take the 60 divided by 6, then also take the 24, divide it also by 6, right? So if you have 60 divided by 6, we know our answer to be what? A 10. Then for 24 divided by 6, our answer is also what? A 4, right? So it simply means that the 84 divided by 6 is the sum of these two answers. You get it? And that is 10 plus 4, which then gives us what? A 14. As simple as that. All right. So what makes the division different is that you don't just write the number as the sum of the values of the digits, but you rather write the number as a sum of two numbers that the divisor can both divide. You get it? Very simple. Let's pick some few more examples and then we see. So let's look at this question also over here. After which we do one last one also for those that contain decimals. All right. And since you have to divide 936 by 12. So trying this out, we have 936 divided by 12. So what we are going to do is we'll rewrite the 936 as sum of two numbers that are equal to 936 and are both multiples of 12. You see, so we can rewrite it as 900 plus 36. You see, so 900 plus your 36. And just to prove that even if you write 30 plus 6, it would even still work. Let's try that and then you see that it will still work. So plus 30 plus 6, then we see what is going to happen. So it simply means that 936 divided by 12 is then going to be all these numbers, 900 plus 30 plus 6 divided by 12. So you are going to take 900 divided by 12, take 30 divided by 12, take 6, and then also divide it by 12. So we have 900 divided by 12, then plus 30 divided by 12, and then the last one, which is going to be 6 divided by 12. You see, so 900 divided by 12 gives us a 75. So we have 75 plus 30 divided by 12. 30 divided by 12. We are going to get a 2. And then there will be a remainder of 6. Plus 6 divided by 12 would also give us a 0. And then there will be a remainder of what? 6. Look at these two remainders over here. So we still have 75 plus 2. Then if you have to add both remainders, so 75 plus 2 plus 0, that is adding our whole numbers, all right? So 75 plus 2 plus 0, then plus, or in other words, the remainders, 6 plus 6. So 75 plus 2 gives us a 77. Remainder what? 12. And take note, we are dividing by 12. So if there has been another 12, then we can still divide. You see? So we have 77 divided by 77 plus 1. Because if we divide this 12 by the 12, we'll get what? 1. This simply means that our 936 is now equal to what? 77. 936 divided by 12 is now equal to 77 plus your 1, which is then what? A 78. As simple as that. So this is it for this particular question. Now, as a trial, as your first trial work, try working it by evaluating or expanding 936 divided by 12, rather as 936, which is equal to your 900 plus 36, and then divided by 12. And let me know how or what your final answer is going to be. It has been past, it's now past 15 minutes. So I'll end here and then give an exercise so you try your hands on. So these are 6 exercises you have here for the multiplication and also for the division. You can try your hands on. If there's any issue of concern, you can always let me know at the comment section. This is how Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. If this is your first time and you so do wish, you can choose to subscribe so that anytime I release a video, you'll be notified as well. Stay blessed and see you in our next session. Bye for now.